This is your reminder that nobody is shooting in the gym with you. So why in the hell would you let their opinions guide your decision making? My wife actually just reminded me of this yesterday because I was suggesting that I didn't like the optics of how a decision that we were going to make was going to look to other people who were close to us. And my wife, in her very gracious way, reminded me how foolish I was being. What kind of life am I living if I'm worried about how you perceive my actions? A goofball life, that's what kind of life I'm living. What you have to remember is that the people who give you advice about how you should live your life often do not share your goals. They often don't even know what it takes to achieve your goals because they've never even gone for it themselves. It would be different if you and someone else had similar goals, you're trying to accomplish similar things, and you picked their brain to figure out how they were getting to their next step. Because in that case, they might be showing some results. So you might want to take some advice from them. That's really the whole basis for taking someone's advice. What are their results? If you want to be someone who's got $20,000, $30,000 in the bank for a rainy day, and the person who's looking at you work all of them hours so you can get there is telling you, nah, you should work less, and they've never had more than $200, why in the hell are you taking their advice? What's crazy is that some of the people with the least results have the most to say. Like, how are you failing so loudly? Do you understand how many people, when I would share outwardly about our debt-free journey and how much I was working back when I was doing delivery driving, they would say things like, that's great and all, but be careful about working so much. You really want to make sure you get time with your family. What? Aren't you in debt? Aren't you struggling to even keep your home? Why are you talking to me? It's one thing to care about the people around you and you see them burn out, you see them struggling. That's one thing. But you just being uncomfortable with someone else working more than you could ever imagine working is crazy. If your results have you struggling, what makes you think that you're in a position to give other people advice? The only logical conclusion that I can draw is that they're going to get to the exact same place you're at if they take your advice, because that's where you've led yourself. In 2025, I am done taking advice from people who have results that I don't want. I will listen to you talk, but I will not be consuming or actually considering any of it, because quite frankly, I don't want to be you. So why the hell would I listen to you? The other really interesting part of this is that the people who talk this much and have the least results, they seem to be physically uncomfortable by the amount that people work. Like, there's been so many channels that I watch on YouTube where people are physically bothered, so much so that they have to comment on it, by a guy working 2 jobs to support his family. Have you ever considered that the reason that you were so uncomfortable with someone working so much is because you could work more? Telling a guy that's got 5 children you're working too much, that is some of the craziest, pettiest, stupidest things I've ever heard. Social media literally is a cesspool. Like, some of y'all got no shame because you know you're anonymous and y'all would just say anything. I've just noticed that these type of people seem to want to bring down the average so that they're not the lowest common denominator anymore. They want everyone to work less so that we can all demand more money for doing a lot of nothing. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. My plan is not going to be to wait around and hope that if we all sit on our asses long enough, that we can convince the government to take care of us so that my family can eat. If you want to do that, you go right ahead. I've got no problem with that being your life plan. Just don't try to convince me it should be mine. And really, that's the crux of all this, is that people who talk so much about what your life should be often will say things like live and let live. But the moment you start living, they'll be like, nah, not like that. I get on here and say all types of stuff about how I think you should live. But at the base of all of this, it's if you want to change your life, these are the things that you should change. My channel is more for people who are unhappy with their situations, who want to change it, because I hear all the time from people who can't afford to eat, who can't afford to take vacations, who can't afford to even pay for things like soccer practice and shit for their children. That's not a good position to be in. That's not a fun place to live. And if you're unhappy with that, there are things you can do in order to change your reality. The people who are the loudest are the ones who are unhappy with their situations, but seem to not want to do anything to change it. Yet they don't want you to go get your happiness either. If you being happy with your life is predicated on other people living their lives in the way that you want them to, you aren't living life. You are trying to corral everyone into a life that you would be happy with so that you can justify not doing anything. And that really is just peak narcissism, because what you're really saying is, I have decided how life should be lived for everyone, and how dare you not conform to the way that I've decided is the best way to live life. And the reason is, you're not shooting in the gym with me. If I need $1,000 for a mortgage, or $1,700 for my kids' braces, or I need to pay $500 for a fee to sign up for some class, you're not going to be the one paying. So don't tell me what I need to do to get that money to pay for the things that I want out of my life if you're not going to put the money up. The only way you could even start to have my ear about things like this is if you put some money up. And even then, I probably wouldn't listen, because I don't want your money. But if you want me to hear you out and you're not putting any money up, nah, miss me with that. You are not a part of this conversation. Get up out of here. Go live your life somewhere else. I am busy trying to be exceptional for my family, because that is what we require of each other. We have made decisions about where we want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, and we are not compromising on that for anyone. I want everybody who listens to this video and this channel to achieve whatever goals they have. That's what this is about. Going after it, getting after it every day so that you can live the life you want and stop just talking about it. Part of doing that is turning down the noise. And we all have got real noise in our lives that comes from people who have zero ambition for themselves. Do not allow people's lack of ambition for themselves to rob you of your ambition for yourself and your life. There is nothing more toxic than settling for yourself because others have convinced you it's not worth going for. How would they know? They've never gone for it. That's all I wanted to say. We're going to get rid of these low ambition individuals in 2025. If you're not displaying the results I want for my life, you could talk into your blue in the face. I got nothing to say to you. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.